everyone, it's about that time. It's September, things are starting to want to go dormant. This is my water lotus. It's a sacred pink water lotus. It did not flower this year, but it did grow. I stored this in my basement over winter and didn't know if it would make it because it was my first time doing it. But it grew through the season. Again, no flowers, but whatever. So this year I'm going to do the same. So I thought I'd bring you along to show you what I did, because it did work for me last year, and it should work for me again this year. What I did notice with water lotus, first off, you don't really need a pond to grow a water lotus. I have mine just growing in a bucket, as you can see, just a big water bucket with handles. I ended up painting my water bucket just so it didn't look unsightly. It still looks like a bucket, but at least it kind of matches the outside of my house. So what I did last year is I removed all of the leaves. So first off, we're going to need to remove this water lotus from the pot. As you can see, well, what I've noticed, the water lotus doesn't like to be cold. The second it starts cooling off, it really starts to go dormant. It's heavy. Okay. Got all kinds of aquatic plants that we're growing in here. The roots on here are phenomenal. So just get rid of some of these plants that are growing around the base. I don't need those rotting in the basement. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off with some pruners. I'm going to cut off all of the leaves at ground level. They're a little bit prickly, so just be a little careful. Not like a cactus, but still uncomfortable nonetheless. Okay, so everything's cleaned off. I still have my tag in there. I didn't want to throw this plant away. It cost me $80. That's crazy. I don't generally pay that much for plants, but I really like water lotuses. Unfortunately, this one didn't flower, like I said. It did last year, only one flower. I was hoping this year it would flower. Lovely. So I've got a garbage bag here. What I'm going to do, this pot here doesn't have any drainage on it, but still I'm going to be putting it inside. So just going to flatten this bag out, plop it down in here. You don't want these plants to dry out over the winter. So I'm putting this bag over it simply to stop the water loss. You can do things like putting damp newspaper on the top, but a plastic bag works wonderful. Okay, so I'm just going to, don't need to close it up or anything, just like that. So now I've got this plant. It's going to retain the moisture just because the plastic won't let the moisture out. From time to time I will look at it through the winter to make sure that it's not moldy or anything like that. Still relatively healthy looking. You need to keep this in a cool spot. So if you have a cold cellar or something like that that still stays above zero but gets cool, that's perfect. I'm going to put mine underneath my grow lights It's not, my basement doesn't really have any cold zones, but I'm going to have it resting on the concrete floor. So the concrete floor will bring the coolness up through the pot, and it will stay at a pretty cool level, so it doesn't really try to grow. Because, like I said, this water lotus variety doesn't seem to like it below 15 degrees. It really hates it. It really didn't start to grow until after the day temperatures were about 20 plus Celsius, and the nighttime temperatures were 15 and above. So I actually thought that this was dead this spring because it really wasn't starting to grow. Anyway, like I said, this is going to go in the basement. It's going to stay in a dark spot. It shouldn't start to grow, but keep watching it. See what's happening. If it's in a cool enough zone, it shouldn't do anything. Anyway, guys, happy growing, and send me some of your picks on what you do to winterize some of your plants. It could be interesting to see what other people do. Everybody seems to have a different method. This one works for me. Maybe it will work for you. If it doesn't, let me know. And also visit me on my Facebook page, Plants and Things, and join in. Send some pictures. Talk amongst yourselves. Have a good time. And yeah, happy growing.